As the Detroit Lions sit here about to play the Washington Commanders, I've continually preached, just enjoy this time. And by the way, I know a lot of you say that you can't see the Lions helmet. All right, there you go. Does that make you feel better? All right, maybe I'll do the entire thing from over here. There you go. Now you can see the Lions helmet. I'm a little off center, but that's okay. You got it for the whole time. Anyways, I have preached just enjoy this time. Enjoy this moment. Enjoy what the Detroit Lions are doing this season because you never know when it's going to end. So I've been reminiscing. I've been going through these things, and I got something for you today on a bad, quote, decision that the Detroit Lions made 2 years ago that is just phenomenal now. But before we get into that, I have a question for you, and forgive me if I've already asked this on this channel already. But who would you rather lose this offseason, Ben Johnson or Aaron Glenn? Remember just a year ago how we were all still calling for Aaron Glenn's head, and we were like, oh, I don't know if he can call the defense. He'd be a better head coach than he is a defensive coordinator. Well, now it's both. I'm very interested to see how he's going to try and contain Jaden Daniels. I think that'll be great, and we're going to talk about a little bit of that Aaron Glenn versus Ben Johnson in the back half of this video. But right now, I want to talk about a decision that the Detroit Lions got right, and that was the drafting of Jahmyr Gibbs. I want to bring you back into that moment. All right, I want to bring you back into that moment. We had the 6th pick. I believe the Seahawks were picking 5, and they took Witherspoon, all right, a cornerback out of Illinois. And then we were on the clock at 6 and very quickly traded that pick away and moved back to number 12. We got an additional pick with that and all that kind of stuff. I don't remember all those details. But with that 12th pick, we took Jahmyr Gibbs. A lot of people were saying that was too early to take a running back. Is anybody thinking that about Jahmyr Gibbs right now? In two seasons, Gibbs has gotten 2,357 rushing yards, 833 receiving yards, 31 touchdowns, and a league-leading 20 touchdowns this year. This is while being in a true split backfield. He's 22 years old. That means when his 5-year window of his rookie contract is up, he will be 25 years old. I'm going to give you a different reason. Everybody talks about how running backs aren't as good on their second contract. How did Josh Jacobs do for the Packers this year? How did Saquon Barkley do this year? How did Derrick Henry do this year? Derrick Henry's 31. How is, I'm trying to think. Alvin Kamara, how is he doing? He's 29, 30 years old. So Gibbs, not only do we have him through 25, but he was young enough that you might actually get a solid 8, 9, 10 years out of this running back because a lot of people said you can't continue with running backs into their late 20s and early 30s. Well, this year, running backs are saying, not so fast, my friend. All right, little Lee Corso for you there. And Jahmyr Gibbs could absolutely be one of them. But let's not even worry about what he's going to do in the future. Let's worry about what he's doing right now. All right, I'm going to give you an example of how good Jahmyr Gibbs has been. We re-signed David Montgomery. I think we gave him 3 years, $21 million. I don't know what it was. It was $28 million, maybe it was. But anyways, we re-signed or extended David Montgomery. Who cared? How big of a deal was that to you? How about recently with David Montgomery? This is not a shot on him. He is phenomenal, and we're going to give him his flowers in this video as well. But when David Montgomery was listed on the injury report, and then you heard he was coming back for the game against the Commanders, who were you more excited about, David Montgomery coming back or Terrion Arnold coming back? And why were you more excited about that person? I was more excited about Terrion Arnold. Why? Because I knew Jahmyr Gibbs had it locked down. In fact, I thought our offense in many ways was better when Gibbs was running the ball 20 times a game or 20 to 25 times a game instead of each of them running the ball 15 or 17 times. Now, I don't think David Montgomery is going to come back and run the ball 15 to 20 times. I think it's going to still heavily favor Gibbs, which is great, and David Montgomery will go be able to do the things that he does. short yardage situations, blitz pickups. He does everything well. David Montgomery does everything well. Jahmyr Gibbs does it remarkably well. All right, sure, he pass blocks. When he's in pass protection, he does it well. He does that well. He runs up the middle well. Everything else is exquisite. His ability to cut back, his ability to get to the outside, his ability to break off a big run, his ability to make people miss, his ability and his contact balance is all at an elite level. When you talk about him, reading this article on MLive, his former coach in high school, which take it for what you will, but it's true. Ja is being mentioned with Barry Sanders. That doesn't mean he's as good as Barry Sanders. That doesn't mean that he's going to have the career that Barry Sanders had. That's not what we are saying. What we're saying is he's being mentioned with Barry Sanders. He's being mentioned with him. And what that means is people, Lions fans, are saying things like I've said after games at the back end of this year, which was, I never thought I'd be able to truly enjoy and be marveled at watching a running back play the running back position again because I watched Barry Sanders growing up. There's been a lot of great running backs in the league, but I've never seen a running back where I've consistently held my breath and been like, wow. The only other players that were close to this were Chris Johnson that 1 year with the Titans, right? Like things like that kind of make you say, wow. All right. But I haven't seen anything that's wowed me. Saquon does a little bit of it too. But when I watch Jahmyr Gibbs run the football, you answer this too. Does he make you just go, wow? Because he does for me. And that is why I think he is the ultimate weapon and why I think this offense can be so darn effective. Why this offense can keep doing things, because half the time you just get it to him out of the backfield. All right, great. They covered the receivers well downfield, everything underneath. Great, give it to him. Let him make a play. You don't need that mobile quarterback because you got Gibbs. You got Laporta. You got St. Brown. You got J-Mo. You just have all these weapons. So, yeah, running back. People don't understand. Like, okay, running backs are devalued in the NFL, but when they're at their peak, they are absolute game changers. When you have one of the best running backs and he is at his peak, it is a game changer in the league. It absolutely is. All right, switching gears over to the coaching side of things, just real quick, wanted to talk about this. Ben Johnson had some really nice things to say about Aaron Glenn. And maybe you answered the question of who you would rather retain. I want to retain them both, but I would rather retain Ben Johnson, but it's close. And the only reason it's close is because I think Dan Campbell is as much of an offensive mastermind behind this offense as Ben Johnson is. And Ben Johnson said, I told you guys, went to the wrong page. All right. He said, I told you guys this last year. I'll go back again. He said, I think he is beyond qualified right now, Johnson said prior to Wednesday's practice in Allen Park. You hear all of our players singing his praises right now, and that's exactly what I would do. I would second that. He is more prepared to be a head coach than maybe anybody I've ever met. He wants that, and I think he'd do a phenomenal job. With that being said, Aaron Glenn's being kind of picky. Both of our coaches are being picky. What an amazing, amazing thing to have. If that doesn't tell you how good Dan Campbell is, if that doesn't tell you what kind of a man he is to work for, that you have arguably the hottest defensive coordinator on the market in Aaron Glenn and the hottest offensive coordinator on the market that are interviewing for head coaching jobs, and they're saying no. Aaron Glenn's like, Jets, I don't want it. All right, Ben Johnson, Jets, I don't want it. By the way, really smart. Aaron Glenn's saying, I'm Saints job. I don't think I really want it. Like, he's been there. He understands that organization. That organization's had a lot of winning years when he was there. And he's like, no, I don't want it. And it's because they see the organizational structure of the Detroit Lions. We're going to be talking about this all off season. And we'll be getting into this stuff. But here's my thing. Right now, my hope is that off season is at least, a month away, right? Because we're waiting until after the Super Bowl for Detroit Lions offseason. How great would that be? Enjoy this time. We'll see you live after the game on Saturday. Please join us. Win, lose, and it won't be a draw. All right, see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.